It all started on November 12, 1985, when Microsoft released Windows 1.0 onto the world. Did you know that Windows 1.0 wasn't a standalone operating system? It actually was a graphical shell that ran over MS-DOS to give you more of a user-friendly interface instead of just a tedious command line so you can actually do things properly. Even so, many reviewers didn't like Windows 1.0, the reason being that it took up way too much of your computer's resources and relied heavily on a mouse. Like that one anywhere, am I right? Windows 2.0 came onto the scene in late 1987, and it was quite a bit more polished than the 1.0 predecessor. The windows themselves could now overlap with each other, and for the first time. And you can display a whopping 256 colors on screen. Not at once, but you had a range of 256 colors. Third-party application support was still spotty, but some Office applications like Word and Excel made their debut on Windows 2.0. There was also Windows 2.1, released the next year. And it was actually the first version of Windows to require a hard drive, considering that the last versions of Windows ran off of a floppy disk. Windows 3.0 was a major change, and not just because Microsoft dropped $3 million on the launch event. Not only did it look a lot better and ran a lot better, giving much more seamless multitasking featured a GUI, a graphical user interface, based around icons for the first time, making it far easier to use than previous versions. Windows 3.1 followed in 1992 and introduced drag-and-drop icons for the first time, as well as TrueType fonts. And TrueType fonts are whatever you type in Microsoft Word and print it out, that's what you'll get on the document. The next year, 1993, brought us Windows 3.2, which was just a Chinese version of 3.1. Also, Windows NT 3.1, but despite the similar name, Windows NT represented a fundamental architecture change. Other versions of Windows were still running over MS-DOS at the time. NT was running on an entirely separate kernel, which allowed more advanced features. In fact, modern versions of Windows still are part of this NT lineage. That doesn't mean Windows is ready to ditch MS-DOS Windows just yet, because some other versions of Windows in the future come out with MS-DOS versions. Although we did get Windows NT Workstation 3.5 in 1994, 1995 brought us the blockbuster hit that was Windows 95. And although it still ran on top of MS-DOS, it marked a point in the timeline where Windows really started to separate itself from the previous versions and really came into its own as an operating system. Features we know, like the Start menu, that little menu in the corner that you click the Windows logo and a bar pops up, a taskbar, which is that bar at the bottom, and USB support came along in future updates. Windows NT also got an update with 4.0 that basically used the same GUI as Windows 95. Windows 98 appropriately released in 1998 and was a souped-up version of Windows 95 that was supposed to integrate better with the internet, which was a rising thing at the time. But infamously, Windows 98 was very buggy and had a lot of security holes that led to, in 1999, Windows releasing Windows 98 Second Edition. Why did they just call it Windows 99? I have no idea. But, alongside that, another version of NT called Windows 2000, which was way much more stable than 98, but also resulted in Microsoft giving themselves an egg on the face when a boatload of security flaws were found in Windows 2000, despite Windows calling it the most secure Windows ever. Microsoft wouldn't exactly right the ship in the early 2000s, because we got a garbage OS called Windows ME. And I mean, it was an alright system. We got System Restore out of it. System Restore is a program that basically says what it means, System Restore. It takes a previous copy of your system, just in case anything happens to it, and then allows you to roll back your system to that previous snapshot, just in case anything happens, viruses, something you don't want to happen on it happens, you delete your system, and then you just roll your system back to that previous version. But the OS was extremely unstable, causing people to call it ME, or Mistake Edition, meaning that it should not have happened. Following the failure that was Windows ME, DOS Windows were cut completely and no longer being supported. Then, in the year 2001, the glorious masterpiece known as Windows XP, Chef's Kiss, absolutely glorious, was released onto the world and released into the market. This was a commercial and critical success. This brought the NT file system, or the NT architecture into the home, as well as the NTFS filing system into the home for supporting the large hard drives. Windows XP also came with professional 64-bit mode as well as a stripped back version for legacy systems. XP's stability, eye-pleasing GUI, and powerful performance made it extremely popular among consumers. Although users weren't thrilled with the anti-piracy scheme known as the activation key, which made its first appearance here, nevertheless, XP remained very popular among customers all the way up to 2009, helped by the fact that Windows Vista was a disaster, just like ME. Vista attempted to modernize the GUI with Aeroglass and patch security holes found in XP, but also featured very big security holes in itself and had hardware compatibility issues. Some people blamed on how different it was from XP, while the real story is that OEM manufacturers or original electronic manufacturers didn't update their drivers in time, misleading their machines as Vista compatible when they really weren't Vista compatible, giving slower horsepower and just overall just a bad experience on Vista. After the trash that was Windows Vista, Microsoft released Windows 7 in 2009, which was visually similar to Vista, but patched up all the security holes, all the compatibility issues that Vista had, given the fact that it had time for the PC hardware to catch up to the revamped OS of Windows 7. Windows 7 became so popular that it actually lived through the entire lifespan of Windows 10, its successor. It lived through the entirety of that lifespan, giving it still support till this day and the next couple of years in 2023. That's crazy. The main reason why Windows 7 was such a success is because 2012's Windows 8 wasn't garbage, but it was a confusing piece of software that tried to force people to use a tablet-type architecture on a desktop. Windows 8 made the desktop look like a tablet desktop for their Surface devices, which Windows was pushing, or Microsoft was pushing hard at that time. Then force it into a desktop environment with a new start screen instead of a start menu, with a bunch of other things that Windows changed too much too fast. Microsoft updated Windows 8 to 8.1 in 2013, which made it the more desktop user-friendly version of Windows 8, which proved to be more popular than the base 8 in 2015. In 2015, Windows 10 was launched, and boy was it a great system, which was a combination of Windows 7 and Windows 8. Unlike previous versions of Microsoft, it has stated that Windows 10 will continuously be supported with new updates through mostly 2028 or 2027, depending on which version of Windows 10 you have. Now, Windows 10 still being supported to this day, still a great system. Most people are still using it. But what released in the past couple of months, on October 5th, 2021? Windows 11, the final stop on our trip. Windows 11 was released onto the world on October 5th, 2021. And this one's a weird one because it moved the taskbar, all the icons from the side to the left side into the middle, kind of like a Mac. Now, I haven't had that much experience in Windows 11, so I don't know much to tell you. I just know that it patched some security issues out in Windows 10, and it also patched just some general quality of life stuff that was present in Windows 10. But when I get my hands on Windows 11, I'll be sure to make a video on it and kind of go through Windows 11. Alright, that's all I have for you guys today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And you know what? Comment your favorite version of Windows that you've used. Why not? I like to read comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. And follow us on TikTok because we're a slave to trends. And I'll see you on the next one.